there's the wallet which Dave got refunded by, which is, according to him, your personal funds, was linked to an Avalanche wallet which was funded like a sniper of Libra. So, but if you launch the coin, isn't it unfair for you to snipe the coin?
So I would say no, and I would say that for a couple different reasons. Number one, a lot of the times when, and again, this is like, I mean, again, it's a much larger conversation, which is what I told you in text. But most of the time when I have different money in different places, obviously. But from the standpoint of sniping, most of the time when we're sniping, we're attempting to avoid other snipers getting in, right? So whether that's
Oh man, welcome guys to Crypto's News. It's me, Omar Bam, aka Crypto. And man, is it an interesting start to the week. We got, talks about rug season. It looks like rug season might actually be coming to an end based off some of these revelations coming out of CoffeeZilla's interview with Hayden Davis, the founder basically of an investment firm that created a project that the Argentinian president got behind and pumped hugely before, like 6 hours later, crashing and getting dumped on. Possible talks about impeachment related. It's just absolutely nuts. Hearing that, talk about mind control and so much. It's like I'm trying to just get my head around what is going on to start off this week. But it looks like it's going to be quite a wild one. So I'm still in the midst of researching all of this and sifting through it. But want to give you guys, as usual, a nice head start to your week by covering the trending topics. And I don't have a ridiculous amount of time today, so we're just gonna dive right in, guys. Thanks for joining me here today. Thank you, Bitcoin changed my life. Thanks Milton, for being here first, man. I appreciate that. Validator ETH, Kevin, I appreciate that. You showing up and everyone else. Let's start off by looking at the prices. We got overall market caps for crypto down 2.3% at $3.312 trillion. ETH dominance is rising again, almost again 10% relative to Bitcoin's 57.5% dominance. It is currently at 9.97%. And that's, I guess, positive for ETH, which is one of the highest gainers in the top 10 outside of Cardano. Cardano's actually up 4.5% at 81 cents at the number 9 spot. We have Ethereum up 3% today at $2,761.63. Bitcoin is down 1.1% right now at $96,173.53. And more recently, I think what you find within the Ethereum community is that we get these little tiny pumps and relative to Bitcoin, which is nice. It's a change. Usually you don't see Ethereum going up unless Bitcoin is going up. It's been like that for like the last couple of years. So seeing these days now where Ethereum is climbing and Bitcoin seems to kind of just be leveling off here, it gives people a little bit of excitement, but it quickly gets stifled by that inner voice that says, we get excited only to get crushed the next day even lower. So I think it's like very hesitant excitement, but yeah, it's I guess we'll cheer for that. Anyway, maybe part of it as to why it's rising, but besides everything else, we're constantly talking about more and more demand for these ETFs. For example, we had a disclosure today from JP Morgan talking about they have over $1 million worth of Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. Yeah, that kind of thing is happening, but $1 million to JP Morgan, not very much, but it does go to show that Jamie Dimon, despite what he says publicly about cryptocurrencies, is still willing to allow his traders to invest this, which is a far cry where back in the day, you had the CEO of JP Morgan Chase saying that he would fire any trader that he found that had invested into Bitcoin or any of these digital currencies. So a real big change, I guess, in that sense. But yeah, maybe part of what's causing this spike in Ethereum has to do with this huge burn that came today. So there was a message by an individual. He's been linked looking at addresses and named by his name being Hugh Leslie. And he seems to have worked for this company called Quande Investment. And he basically burned over 500 ETH. He sent it over to the burn address. So an address that no one has funds or access to those funds to on Ethereum, basically destroying that money in order to infuse a message into the uncensorable blockchain that I guess was meant to raise awareness. The message was this: the bosses of Quande Investment, Fang Jin and Yuzi, I'm sorry, I'm totally butchering this, I'm sure, used brain computer weapons to persecute all company employees and former employees, and even they themselves were controlled. There were other messages that were infused as well in other separate burn transactions. As the brain-computer interface and mind-reading technology keeps developing, there is a new mode of crime in which wild animals become puppets or complete slaves to the digital machine. And then another message: there is a new mode of crime in which the victim is gradually deprived of his senses of desire until he becomes a complete slave to the digital machine. And if one day I become a victim of the final stage, I will leave the world. So this is kind of blowing up. In separate transactions, he donated to various causes. He sent over 100 ETH to the Ethereum Foundation. So pretty wild. Like, what is going on here? Could it be true? There is a subreddit called Targeted Energy Weapons, which I became a member of back when I had my own kind of mental health crisis, and it felt like I was being targeted because for so long I felt pretty normal. Then all of a sudden I had a complete psychotic break. And I remember during that time, it literally felt like I was being controlled, like I was being incepted messages in my head. I've talked about this before, and it's ultimately what kind of led to me deleting my channel and sowing so much other chaos in my life. And it felt like really strange. And it reminds me also of my most popular video here on the new YouTube channel, thousands of views, called The Strange Death of Nikolai Mashegin. People still watch that every single day, this video. And he was a developer who also seemed to be going through similar kind of perhaps mental health crises, where it looked like he was being targeted by various agencies, CIA, Mossad, others, that basically resulted in him committing suicide. It looks like he went into a rip current, if I'm recalling correctly. A riptide, got pulled in and died. But he had been trying to get the word out right before his death, before his untimely death, which was kind of ruled an accident. But others are saying maybe he was forced into committing something like this. So anyway, if this is legitimate, right? If there is actually this technology out there, satellites out there in space able to control folks, this is wild. And if this is true, right, let's say in some fictional world where we buy this, or hypothetical reality, right, where you have this company that is using mind control in order to direct their current employees and former employees, and they are also controlled themselves. I think this is huge. And at the very least, this individual, it could very well just be he's having his own mental health crisis, but and it could be, I guess, an intentional mental health crisis on him. I actually don't fully believe that's true, but if it is true, at least it's raising awareness to the fact that you can attach a huge amount of money to a transaction on a public blockchain like this and make it uncensorable for all time, pretty much. As long as Ethereum exists or people care to look at the ledger, they will be able to see this on there. And he burned a huge amount, so people pay attention to this message as well. It's not just some random thing where somebody threw in 0.01 ETH to a transaction to send a message. No, he burned a huge, massive amount of, I don't know, it was his personal funds. It looks like these funds might have actually belonged to the company. There were huge high value investments that this account had, this address had been linked to. So it's likely possible that this individual got access to Quande Investments accounts, and through their investing account was able to send all of this ETH. But yeah, absolutely wild. This article here on Binance talks about these hanger-on tokens that came out afterwards. Someone created a token called Quande Investments. It was a meme on Solana that pumped, of course, before crashing. Not surprising. There was another project as well that was called Wizard Quant, that was linked to that original company. That one also went hugely up and then dumped. So some are suspecting that maybe this individual did this on purpose to kind of create this token and make a lot of money off of it as people became aware of this story. I don't know that that's very true, looking at the market caps and everything else that it was a very risky thing to try to do if that's the case. More, to me, it kind of speaks to mental health. But, and even further, just to like the capability of whistleblowing that can be done through these blockchains. And hopefully we do hear of more whistleblowings, whether legitimate or not. I think it just at least raises awareness so huge. The other big story today that you guys are probably going to want to investigate for yourselves has to do with what I talked about in the beginning, which is this Argentinian president, Milei, President Javier Milei, who is now being filed a complaint in criminal court from Argentine lawyers who have different parts of the government that are looking to investigate him from the opposition, who are really speaking foul of what he's done with basically hyping up this Libra token and then moving away from it shortly afterward. And it started to dump. Basically, it went up to over $5 when it was a fraction of a penny. It was like 0.0006 cents to buy it. And people started hanging on, of course, onto it and trying to get involved as it was the official Argentinian token. There were other insiders who apparently knew about this launch over 2 weeks before that. And this is really exposed a lot in this interview by CoffeeZilla, who interviews, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, Hayden Davis, who was basically the founder of this token with his company, and talking about all sorts of things. I showed you the segment in the beginning, and I guess if you're just joining us now, you can watch the beginning segment that I already played, where he talks about snipers and why the founder thinks it's totally all right to basically have these algorithmic bots that buy this token immediately on launch. They're aware of the smart contract address. They get in before everybody else does. They basically snipe this token right before other snipers come on board as a way to try to protect the token. Because if you were a launcher, you already know this on Solana, that you basically have to snipe your own token in order to create some sort of treasury, right? Like you snipe it before it pumps. Everybody else, the retail buys in, other snipers bid it higher, and then you sell the top in order to create a treasury to fund the project beyond 2 weeks. So super illuminating, I guess you would say, as to how the mindsets of some of these folks are, who think it's all right to rug pull everyone to benefit yourselves at the behest of so many other people, to try to protect some sort of meme token, and creating all sorts of weird delusions around how we need to reconfigure how we think about meme tokens, because it's totally okay to make money with meme tokens if you're sniping them, because the exchanges are making money off of fees and the other snipers are making money, and fees are so little usually on the network that there's basically no making money off of that or liquidity pools. You need to snipe and ruin people in order to do that, and it is a wild story. I'm still watching this video. It's over an hour long. I've gotten more than halfway through it, but I'm looking forward to getting through the rest of it after this. And this follows also his recent video with Welch, Hawk Tua, which was also a pretty fun one as well. I didn't really talk about it on the show, but I did watch it at the time when he released it. And yeah, also a really cool one if you want more details on that. A complete disaster for her. That was meant to be a good publicity podcast. She finally came out after hiding when she basically launched this token, made a bunch of money, her and her team on it, and then afterwards retreated silently. People tried to sue her, and speaking about how she was trying to donate like 50% of proceeds to charity, and CoffeeZilla is asking the lawyer for the contract details. The lawyer will not give it up. No real proof that it was meant to go to charity or anything else to try to make her look good. But yeah, he's been kind of on a roll recently calling out folks. Really, really wild. Anyway, one individual, very popular, the founder of Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy. Yeah, got quite the name in crypto already. I've covered him throughout the years, really. Like, I remember the video where the Winklevi go over to basically get Mike Portnoy to buy crypto for the first time, I believe that was. But yeah. Anyway, he basically had been given money, it seems, to buy this Libra token, this Argentinian president token, that was launched by this Hayden Davis fella and his team. He was given money, he lost it, and then got personally paid back and refunded by Hayden Davis, making it look really bad. There were even tweets, right, where he even published it himself, for the record. He was basically told, like, don't tell anyone about this. And Dave Portnoy was like, I always tell the truth. Only thing I did wish I say, which I plan to, is that you paid me back. Why didn't you want that? Can't people see it anyway? So really not a good look here at all when it comes to, I think, just overall, like, zooming out, besides Hayden Davis, whose reputation is completely shot, I would say, in crypto after this damning interview where he just is saying thing after thing to make him look bad. It makes Dave Portnoy somewhat look good, but really he was paid to promote a token and to pump it. Who knows how many other times he has done that, whether he talks about speaking the truth or not. This is blowing up, so it benefited him to talk about it. And beyond that, I think it really damages Solana and meme coins overall, because if there are all these algorithmic bots, sniper bots, algorithmic trading that is going on that few people know how to program well to be able to take advantage of, and have the deep pockets already with which to fund a position of like $1 million plus to initially buy this token and somehow sell right near the top right, and to be profitable in that kind of way. It basically means that you're gonna lose if you're retail here, which we already know if you've been in this game for a long time. But I think this should be a real awareness call for folks who are getting into meme coins, that you're not likely to win here. You're more than likely to lose. It for me was like, it was a good thing for me to not buy Trump coin at 6 cents when I first heard of it, or even at $30, right? And rather wait till it starts to crash. And the only way to make money is really shorting these things down to Goblin Town, at least for a time, even still something very risky. But yeah, I think it's going to take away some of this demand for meme coins from folks, would be my idea, if they have any brains on themselves. And maybe this is part of the reason you're seeing Solana kind of dip. More and more people are realizing that it's a fool's errand to try to make money on these meme coins, as people try to rotate perhaps more back to fundamentals, which is what I think I hear from within some of the Ethereum community themselves. And just a wild story here. I had to cover that with my limited time. Important. I urge you guys to get into that yourself. So there is this company, as we just kind of wrap up here towards the end, I wanted to give this a quick mention as well. That does research. Bernstein, in a research report, they're a broker research firm, talked about how the crypto US task force that we've been talking about recently, that was born, will focus on starting up a national Bitcoin reserve, which could lead to a global race among sovereigns to buy Bitcoin as one of the reserve assets. Something we already know, right? That they are looking into how to structure this. Also, Bernstein mentioned that we could sell gold in order to buy Bitcoin, something else that's been talked about before, so not too much of a surprise. And lastly, wow, man, I haven't heard from this guy in a while, but it looks like Bitcoin 2025, the conference, was able to finally get in touch with Trace Mayer, true Bitcoin OG and evangelist for so long. He's going to be speaking in Las Vegas, May 27th through the 29th at the Venetian. Dang, I'm like just about to miss him, because I'm going to be in LA from the 16th of May to the 19th of May. My little brother is actually graduating from UCLA Law School, so huge props to him. So I got to be out there for that. And I'm going to be like a week away from being able to drive over to Vegas. It's only like a 2-hour drive from LA, and missing Trace Mayer. I'm super excited to hear what he has to say, although I'm sure we will hear about it in the crypto media. So yeah, wanted to give that all this stuff heads up to you guys as we start this week. And a story and 2 pictures posted on the cryptocurrency subreddit. Would you quit your job for 3 Bitcoin? You had Genny Rick right on the Bitcoin subreddit. And next statement responds, I would quit for 3 Ethereum. So he'd quit his job for 3 Ethereum, but not 3 Bitcoin. And here's the next picture in this story of 2 pictures. Hello, you have been permanently banned from participating in Bitcoin because your comment violates this community's rules. Yeah, I've been banned from the Bitcoin subreddit since back in like 2015, I'm pretty sure. I'm also banned on the cryptocurrency subreddit. That was probably around 2017. I even petitioned them back in like 2021. Can I like come back to the cryptocurrency subreddit? And they got really mean with me. The moderators got like nasty with me and they did not want me back. Anyway, yeah, so like censorship is a huge thing across these communities, and it skews, I think, like narratives people should be aware of, or at least thoughts that they should be open to. I don't think we should be pigeonholed within, like, if you're on the Ethereum subreddit, it's fine, like in the daily discussion, to bring up other coins. You're not going to get banned. But when I see communities that do ban folks for thinking outside of their limited box, it makes me want to engage with them less. And I realize the information is more privileged and not going to be probably the best that will give you the widest, more macro view, which I think is super important. So thank you guys for joining me here today as we try to get more and more the bigger picture of what's going on in crypto. Some wild stories today. Thank you guys for joining me today. You wrecked yourself a number of times. I know that Bitcoin changed my life. You've been through an insane amount, like homeless as well, and then crawling back out. True like revival story for you, bro. You're a phoenix story. Ryan, connect Hayden with your brother. Yeah, no. My brother would not want to defend Hayden. He's more focused on rights for indigenous people in places like Honduras, people who don't have rights that become homeless here in the United States. That's been a lot of his work while he's been at UCLA. So no, he's not going to be trying to help Hayden, bro. And Havo, so good to see you. Yeah. Nah, it's only good for memes and random things. Sometimes you can get an overall picture of what are trending topics as well there. That's what I use it for. But yeah, not the best source really for your crypto information. Definitely I recommend the Ethereum Daily is a really good one for that. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Alex as well. Nice to have you back since 2017, man. Amit, who else did I miss here that's part of this chat? Befuddled Hodler, Dream Catchers made it out, and anyone else who I didn't get a chance to shout out. I thank you for making it out. And let's finish with our quote of the day here today, which is, there are many ways of going forward, but only one way of standing still, by Franklin D. Roosevelt. It reminds me of this other quote that I actually heard in this game, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is super popular and I'm enjoying right now. And it's about how no one ever got lost by continuing to move forward. Only by standing still do you really get lost. Yeah, that one gave me pause as well. Anyway, thank you guys for making it out. I'll catch you next time. Take care, much love, and stay cryptic. Peace.